Hi, Paula. I'm Polly. And Polly Jesus.
Hi, Ollie.
Or condos.
She's still going to lead this until you want to.
Are you with Gimpy?
No, he's with her.
This is my
He's
girlfriend.
got stuck with you.
Yeah, this is his wife and I'm the girlfriend.
She's my girlfriend. That's my wife.
Is he milking
Down
it?
at the condo.
Oh, my arm, I can't do anything.
You see me in the row with 3 women, right? What's that?
Got it.
It's a good move.
That's a good move.
How does it compare with this? No, straight place of Mountain View.
I know. I've talked to him at the
Thank
bar.
you for coming. I am now the interim GM and allowed to do this process of electing officers. As a note, I just spoke to David Goldstein, who is on the golf course with the, whatever they're calling it this year, it's not a horse race. And Jaime and Steve Ekstrand are on hole number 2. So, I can let a discussion happen. We're missing 2 board members. It's a quorum. And so I will go around the room and ask for discussion. Jim?
As far as...
We are supposed to select the 4 officers from Mission Lakes Country Club. If you don't select them today, I believe the old board is still the board.
I'd like to start if I could. There doesn't seem to be a need for a rhyme or reason. I'm going to propose to nominate Jim Nelson as board president. And
I would second that.
And I'd like to say some of the reasoning behind that is, like Bill, Jim has a year's experience now on the board. He's a 12-month resident. He's shown great leadership and great vision on the board, steadfast, makes it to all the meetings. He's been rock solid from everything that I've seen, so that is where I'd like to go with my vote.
I would agree on that also. I believe that Mr. Stamkos would be the good president of the board.
You said Mr. Stanley.
I'm sorry.
Bill?
I believe that this meeting should be held with all 7 board members. There needs to be discussion. We need to talk about the position, the requirements, and we only have 5. So I think this meeting at this point is incomplete because I would like to speak about perhaps 2 of the people and nominate them, and they're not here. So it's only fair that that person accepts the nomination. It's only fair that we understand that there's other positions to be filled, and there may be a better person to select for those positions than the initial president. So with that said, I would like to propose that this meeting be postponed until they're available, whatever time that is.
Okay, and I can call David on the golf course and say that right now we need those 2 people. I could ask if you wanted to wait until 5 o'clock to make. I don't want to wait until tomorrow. I don't think that's realistic. I think we need to make a decision today. That's my opinion.
If it takes till tomorrow morning to get a full set of board members there, then that's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
We have started this meeting. This meeting has already been started. We can adjourn this meeting and reconvene at any time we pick without 72 hours notice. So
Yes,
I
you
believe
can.
strongly that we need all 7 board members in this room.
So there's been a precedent set to this issue once before, and I believe I believe we had one board member that had a medical emergency. He was elected to the board several years ago. He was in the Bay Area when the voting occurred, and he voted by phone. So there has been a precedent set in the past.
Do we have their vote by chance?
I can get their votes very easily, but.
You should not know who they voted for. This is a blind vote. It's a secret ballot. You should not know what board member voted for who. You're gonna get ballots that are open. There's no names. It's just who president is being voted.
Yeah.
So I reject that.
Well, now, if Mr. Nelson was voted in with 4 present board members now, if it sounds like maybe he has some support in the room right now, then we could probably make that vote happen if we have a quorum.
Well, I'm just the general manager, so I refrain from saying what I feel. I agree with Bill, it should be a secret ballot. You two already voted, which is unfair because that was not secret. For me to call 2 people that are not here and say there's 4 votes, I don't think I can do that. That's not a secret ballot. And this needs to be done. Dave Stanley can make a recommendation, and that's fine. I can tell Jaime and Steve Ekstrand, who are out there, say you either come in now, or you can.
Well,
I thought they were going to be voting by phone for the president. That's what we were told earlier.
Yes, and I can call them.
Let's do that.
But the one thing that bothers me is
no.
you, Susan, and Sam already voted for Jim.
We expressed support
Right,
for him.
yeah.
He
No.
seconded.
Support for his nomination, I don't think they voted.
I concur. That's all.
That's
Okay,
good.
all right.
If I can't, let's go.
Excuse me, Rick, wait a minute, one at a time. I know you're on the board, Eddie's got his hand up, so I don't think this is a free-for-all.
I was in the nomination part of the fact that I agree that he would be a good president, and so, that would be a nomination. And I do believe that we should, of course, speak to the 2 that are out there on the course, and they certainly could vote by phone, or if not, then, we can postpone this till they can arrive here. But if it has already happened in prior years where someone has
Yeah,
voted.
I don't remember that.
I'm sorry. They have a right to know what's being said in this room. They have a right to know what is being said about our other members, and they have a right to self-nominate or be nominated. And they're not given that right.
Well, they can do that on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't listened to this conversation.
Well, it doesn't.
Or we could just adjourn to the bar for 2 more hours.
We have 3 more people to nominate. Okay, so they're still not here.
You were going to put one of their names up for the board president, or can we just elect the board president now, Bill? Or do you want to put one of their names up for your own name for the president?
I want 7. This is, in my opinion, is not the proper way to start. 2022, 2023 board of directors, when we don't have all the board members present in the room.
Well, the potential board members were informed earlier today that this was going to be the process. That our interim general manager was going to be making a phone call when a name got put up, and those 2 board members that are on the golf course right now were going to be able to put their vote up. And that's the way, and it kind of sounds like now that we did not have an understanding that that was the way it was going to work.
No, we did.
Okay, then I say that we need to get a hold of them and put Jim's name up, or if Bill would like to put his name up, put 2 names up and see which way those 2 want to vote. And let's hire a board president.
Okay. Rick, I recognize you.
David Sterling does not require a secret ballot. It can be a voice vote, a raise your hand vote, or a secret ballot. So, just so, I agree with Bill, everybody should be here before you make a decision. But the form in which the decision is made is not required to be a secret ballot. Just saying.
Thank you. Eddie?
Yes, as having served 4 years on the board and been through a number of elections, ideally, you should have all 7 members in this room so that you can discuss who wants to be president, why. You need a second too as well, but they should all be here. And it should be a secret ballot where everybody writes down on a piece of paper and gives it to you what their vote will be. And it's unfair to those 2 that are out there, although I agree that they ought to be here, because they should be representing our membership and not playing golf.
They are.
Hold on.
It's not
Wait,
what they say.
I know one thing.
No, I'm giving you the floor.
Thank you. And correct me if I'm wrong, there's 2 people that can be president. Am I correct?
No.
Anybody.
Anybody can be
Anybody.
president.
Anybody can be president?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's Jim, Bill, Susan,
Anybody.
Anybody.
anybody can be president.
New law.
I thought you had to
No,
sit on the board.
No.
That's
Anybody.
important for them
Okay.
to be here.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
discussion.
well, that's good. That's good. I agree that we should have all 7 votes. But there's nothing wrong with a phone call if they're out in the course. And let them decide. You can get it with a phone call.
They've agreed to that already,
They have.
and I believe you had that understanding with them that they'd be
Yes.
willing to vote from the course. And so
I
we've
get
had
it.
discussion, and I think it's time to act.
I'm on the board. I didn't agree to that, and nor did I hear that it could be the way this election was going to be run.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's.
Yes, Susan.
So by the time you
gotta get through talking about it, they'll be done on the golf course.
When this was discussed that this might happen this afternoon,
Yeah.
they were informed that if they didn't make it here, that you would be calling them to
For their
place
vote.
their vote. And did they both agree to that, or did they
Yes.
not?
They agreed to that, and David Goldstein is out there with both of them. I'm calling him, he's giving the phones. They both know that they were elected. I called them and let them know that they were elected. And David said that if I called after 3 o'clock, I would say to them, these are the people that were elected. Who would you vote for as president of MLCC, which is the most important one. We need to get that out there. And so I can also suggest, and I can do it right here, it should be amongst you, you won't know what they say, but who they say. But yes, anybody of the 7 people can be a board president. Go on.
I'd like to make a motion that we call those 2 individuals and we elect our next board president.
Agreed.
Can we, I mean, are they even in the process of, if we said to them, hey, somebody's nominated you, Mr. Aldridge, to be president, would you accept that? I mean, is it to the point where they can do all that over the phone, or do we actually have to, because since they agreed to this early this morning, I mean, did they not think, I don't know what they.
That's kind of the problem, is that there needs to be discussion. You know, we need to have a vice president. We need to discuss, okay, what's the role with that? Most everyone here hasn't been involved. So what is the role of a vice president? What's the role of the secretary? I want that person to understand what that role is when they accept a nomination. And without them being here,
We're not gonna vote on those things, Bill.
yes, we are.
I don't believe we are.
Yes, we are. That's
Well,
what
there's
we're
gonna be a motion made that we just elect the board president now, and we'd like to elect the other officers when those 2 gentlemen get done with their tournament. And the understanding was that we were gonna elect that. That's the understanding. There's a lot of people watching right now.
That's
We
right.
have our interim general manager that has said this was the understanding she had. This is what she told those 2 gentlemen. they're expecting a phone call with a person's name or two people's name brought up. And Bill, it'd be wonderful, if you want to have your name brought up, they can vote between you and Mr. Nelson, that's fine. But they are anticipating getting to vote by phone for at least one name that's put up as president right now. This is what they're expecting, and that is what they were told by our interim general manager.
Susan.
Were they aware of the fact that the president was supposed to be a silent vote?
All the votes are silent votes, even for the secretary and for the treasurer.
Okay, then how come they thought they could vote by phone?
Well, because they're telling me that's a
They're-
silent vote. They
That
don't,
would be the same
that's
as if
not
they
for
were
anybody.
there.
That answers my question.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But-
that would be the same
but
as
they
if we
can
all
also-
wrote our
And they
name.
can self-nominate themselves as well.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
I-
if you want to be president, you can even just, yeah.
And-
without-
and I-
Okay,
yeah,
and
and
so
I'm-
that can be.
Let me just say, unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that California law has changed. Anybody can run for the board. Anybody can be on a committee. There's no standard set. So Jane.
I'm wondering in this discussion that you had with the two that are out on the golf course, if you also discussed that there are, they have the ability to self-nominate or nominate somebody, or were they just getting called to just vote? And that they would not have any participate? What's their understanding of that?
Unfortunately, I will say, since the candidates list went out with 10 people, I have had no discussions with any of the candidates on what is necessary for the job. And that's unfortunate because there are things like this that none of them said, well, what happens on Saturday? What time do I have to be there? Nothing. So in that regard, nobody's come forward to me. I don't know whether they've come forward to other board members. I think some of them don't even know that they can nominate themselves. And that's unfortunate. So I have to give a little speech when I call them to tell them because they don't know. Yeah. Well, Connie has her hand up, so.
Having served on several committees at other boards and other places, the concern that I have is this board in total needs to talk about the qualifications that each person has for each position. If two people aren't here and they just say, oh yeah, and I'm going to say when it comes to treasurer, oh yeah, sure, I'll be treasurer, when they don't necessarily understand the responsibility and the hours that it takes. So I have a concern from my past history of both serving on this finance committee and also on other boards, that all people need to be in the room and hear all of the things that are said.
Yeah. Okay, and I agree, and as general manager, I don't think I can, do anything here, but I will say, all that information, Bill Aldridge wrote a wonderful letter regarding duties and responsibilities of all the board officers. We have CCNRs, we have bios. If these new people know what goes on every day at Mission Lakes Country Club. So I really am not a board member right now, so.
I think all we're trying to accomplish right now, and then I think it should be tabled until we can have discussion on all the elected positions, is we had all agreed and we were understanding that we were going to be voting for the board president right now. And that's what was told to those two gentlemen, and they know whatever names are put up, they're going to vote on the names that get put up by this group right here. So if there's another name to put up, let's put it up and let's get.
A secret ballot, yeah.
Trish, how much longer are they going to be out? Does David have any idea?
Well, when I just talked to David about 15 minutes ago, they were only on hold number 2. I do know on the 3rd hold, they get rid of 3 teams. So I can call him and find out and just get information from him. Eddie.
Honestly here, I've heard what David said, but you guys need to elect all of your officers today. This doesn't go on. The membership is here to listen to this. That's why we are here. You can't postpone that until next week. You elect the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. I don't care how you do that, but you gotta do that now.
That's what's gonna happen, and I've made a motion, and it got seconded, and we haven't voted on it. So,
You gotta have 5 people.
I've made a motion, it's been set.
And you've got a quorum, so.
We have a quorum.
Okay, I will make a phone call.
Do we have a quorum, or do we not?
You do.
Okay, well, I thought we had a quorum.
Thank
So-
you.
You haven't said you'd accept?
I'll accept.
This has all been preconceived.
Yeah. You remember, you have a job.
I know.
We're doing our job.
Kind of a good thing they didn't show up.
Not answered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick up.
Who's that, David, you're carrying this?
Hi, David, where are you? What hope? Okay, all right, and are they still in it?
This is the problem with the schedule, too. The schedule.
That won't happen next year.
I know, but that's,
That's the golf
this
course
is,
fault.
it's unprecedented that this is happening.
Second time it's happened.
So,
No, first time.
Raiders.
It's happened
Okay.
before in an election.
All right. If you would let me know immediately, and that if that is the case, they are to come to the clubhouse immediately. Okay, thank you, David. Uh-huh. It might not be a problem, they're will be eliminated on the 3rd hole.
Oh, there you go.
So
There
he
you
says
go.
in 15 minutes,
good.
you should know, and he will call me, and he will tell those 2 men that they need to come to the clubhouse.
Well, then I suggest we take a break.
Okay, well, take your.
And reconvene in 10 minutes.
You need to do something with that motion, though.
Yes.
You need to
You need to
recall it.
rescind it.
Well,
I don't
I'm
know,
not secretary.
but I will, I mean, but it really should be the board here and not a group effort. I don't quite understand this, but we made a motion, and if the other board members that seconded it and we were gonna vote on it, if they want it rescinded, I'm more than happy to rescind it, especially if
I
we're
think
talking
you should
15
rescind
minutes.
it. Rescind it, and hopefully those 2, unfortunately, might be canceled out of the tournament. And as far as David said, they have the highest scores,
Okay.
which is not good.
I am willing, because you're a voting member here, and Trish is not now, but if you would like to rescind it, I will rescind it. If both of you would like to rescind it, then we'll just adjourn until we get.
I will resend it.
Okay.
I think that alleviates all the problems.
I agree.
All right.
I'm going with you.
And come see you all drinking at the same table.
Yeah, they saved my wine glass over there, I think. I'm hopeful.
Stay here.
Told him not to clear it.
I'm gonna go take a sleep.
I'm staying here.
Yeah, we can see how this is gonna work out. Alrighty now. Come on, honey, we'll have a cocktail.
It'll be a rough year for you. I don't envy you.
Actually,